Welcome back. Well, a cargo crisis. Freighter ships stuck offshore waiting there at docks for the docks to open so they can unload their shipments. It's crazy. I mean, there's so many items that are stuck there on these ships, and it's causing prices to go up, and supplies are low.
Right. I mean, if you tried to buy a car lately, or even like dishwashers and things like that, paper goods. So Jonas Gamso is professor focusing on international and political economy at ASU's Thunderbird School of Global Management. Thank you, Professor, for being with us this morning. You know, we debate it all the time. We're saying, what is going on? Why is it so hard to get a new car? Why is it so hard to get a lot of items we're looking for? Tell us what you think is the root of the issue.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. It's really great to be here with you. There's an overarching factor here, or overarching cause of all this, which is essentially that there's a surge in demand as the U.S. economy's opened back up. And U.S. customers are shifting their spending a bit away from services and more toward goods. So we've got a lot of ships with a lot of goods that are coming in to satisfy U.S. demand. And it's a challenge to get those goods off of these ships. And it would be a challenge in the best of times. Of course, this is not really the best of times, right? We've got issues with longer waits to unload cargo because of COVID-19 related protocols. We have the worker shortage, of course, which pertains to the dock workers, but also to lots of other people who have a hand in getting goods off of ships and into the hands of customers. I mean, after the ships are unloaded, they are put on trucks. And so you've got truck drivers that bring the goods then to warehouses and to storage facilities and to retail stores. And so anywhere where you have labor shortages at any point along that facet of the supply chain, it's going to impede getting these ships unloaded.
You know, if I can ask a question about the labor shortage, we've seen that in all kinds of different industries, right, around the world. How bad is it in comparison? I mean, this is kind of holding up a whole lot of things there at sea.
Well, I mean, it's certainly contributing to all this, and it's certainly a factor. I would say that, again, it's just one of many factors. There are underlying problems that are really being exacerbated by the labor shortage. So it's certainly a factor. It's certainly contributing to the delay in getting things off of ships. It's contributing to ports operating at a lower capacity than they typically would. But again, it's just one of several factors. I mean, another issue is that there is a lack of storage onshore. So once you get things off of the ships, they have to go somewhere. And right now, storage facilities onshore, especially in the western half of the country, are really near or at capacity.
And it's things we don't think about very often, because you think you just go to Costco and you buy a tire or whatever. I had a guy who works in the tire warehousing business or a wholesale business, and he was saying the cargo that used to cost them coming across the shipping, there was like $750, went up to $1,700, and now it's going up to $5,000. And they're having to pass along those prices to consumers, and that's contributing to this overall inflation we're seeing.
Absolutely. Shipping costs have really just gone through the roof. Shipping from China to the United States has increased 500%, more than that actually, over the last year. So it used to cost at the end of 2020 to ship a 40-foot crate across the Pacific Ocean cost around $5,000, which was a lot of money even then. Now it's more like $20,000. So the costs have really just gone through the roof, and you're exactly right that those costs are going to be passed on to consumers.
So then how do we begin to turn this around? When I say we, I mean like international and here in the United States economy and leadership, that are running things. Where does this even begin?
Well, look, I mean, what ultimately has to happen is that capacity has to match demand. And that can happen in one of two ways. One is that we see capacity grow, which to put that in plainer language just means that we have more workers, more dock workers, more truck drivers. We have more storage facilities, more warehouses, or demand comes down, which is something that could certainly happen with high prices, and it leads to a coming together of demand and supply, essentially. So that's a process that's going to take a little bit of time. Hopefully, also, of course, we'll see the COVID pandemic taper off, and that'll help to address the worker shortage and some of these other issues. But there are also some short-term things that we are seeing and that we're going to continue to see. These ports in Los Angeles and Long Beach are the two biggest ports of entry for goods coming into the United States. They're the main ports where goods from China come in, and they account for 30% of U.S. imports. So those ports are going to start operating longer hours. The Long Beach port already has. And they'll also increase, they are also increasing the amount of hours in the day that trucks can unload and reload cargo. So these are things that are going to have a modest effect. They're not going to solve, excuse me, they're not going to solve the problem, but they'll help to address it.
And we only have about 45 seconds left. And I feel like I'm just perplexed by this worker shortage. What do you think is causing this? Some people say, oh, people got too many unemployment benefits and they're not wanting to work these jobs anymore. Yeah. I've heard other people say, no, everybody shifted out of maybe some of these tougher jobs into different types of service jobs or things. What do you think is going on?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of factors. I mean, I think that people, of course, the coronavirus is a major factor here in all kinds of ways. People are afraid of getting sick. They might be caring for children or for loved ones. As you said, there are also questions about how unemployment benefits are potentially affecting the labor market. Although, as we've seen unemployment benefits roll back, we haven't really seen the kind of change in the labor market that we would expect if that was the cause. So I think it's just a convergence of many factors all happening at once.
Dr. Jonas Gamso, thank you very much, professor at ASU's Thunderbird School of Global Management. I appreciate you being with us this morning and enlightening. I appreciate it.
Thank you for your insight.
Yeah, nice talking with you.
Yeah,
have a great
pleasure.
day.
Thank you.
Look forward to talking about it again, because with him, for more insight, this is not over for sure. Goodness.
No. And then those port, we were just talking about those. Usually those port jobs are pretty, you make good money.
Yeah, you do.
Look at those ports, Union and the whole deal, so they can get going again. All right, fast.